Lyndon Arthur is back, ready to stake a claim for a shot at world glory when he takes on Argentina's Walter Gabriel Shechiera. Part of a huge night of action on Saturday, September the 17th. It's live and free on Channel 5.
This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm here with one half of the main event tomorrow night, the A-side on the collision course at York Hall tomorrow. Denzel Bentley. Denzel, first things first, how are you, mate? Just weighed in, looking in tremendous shape.
Good, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, good, brother, good. Let's talk a little bit about camp. Obviously coming off a brilliant win on the Wasserman show against Linus Adolphia. You're now in with Marcus Morrison, a tough, seasoned operator. We've seen him in the past in with Eubank Jr. and with Zach Parker. Back at 160 for this fight. What can you expect from him? Obviously the Joe Gallagher gym are riding on a high at the minute.
I'm expecting him to be dangerous coming out the blocks. I'm expecting him, to probably start fast or start strong. So, yeah, man, I'm expecting a good performance from him.
What can we expect from you tomorrow? He said that there's going to be times where he'll be willing to stand there and trade with you, and there'll be times where he'll be willing to try and box off that back foot. What can we expect to see from yourself? Obviously, last time, outstanding performance. You've got the fans rallying behind you. York Hall, you're going to be loving it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be loud. But you can expect fireworks from me. That's what you can expect from me. You can expect game. I'm just going to be in there. I'm going to be trying to take his head off, stop him.
You won't want to overlook Marcus Morrison, but I want to sort of talk about beyond that. Obviously, coming back in that amazing fight with Linus Adolphia, you are the two-time British middleweight champion. If you get through Friday night, what are you looking at after that without, underestimating Marcus or whatever? But, there's always goals further on in boxing, and what's your mind at now?
Obviously, I want to be a world champion, but looking forward, there's a lot of things going on at the moment in the division. There's a lot of, changes and stuff, so I don't really know what's next right now. I just know I've got Marcus Morrison in front of me, and I want to get past him nice and comfortably, and then we'll see what's next. Like, there'll be options there, but I have to get through this first, and then we can probably sit down and then I can look at everything else and see, what's going on. So, yeah, I guess we've got to wait till, after this weekend, so I know fully, what route and what direction I want to go.
Well, Denzel, I saw a little bit that you did with Dev Sani that's been going out over Queensbury socials, and I was messaging my bosses and I said, I want to bring him up on that part. Obviously, you spoke about, I think it was being stop and search since you were the age of 11 and the sort of prejudice that you have to experience being a guy growing up in London. Look, you're here, obviously, Friday night at York Hall. You've made your statement on the big stage before, but could you just talk a little bit about that for the people that haven't seen on the Queensbury channel what you've done this week and sort of some of the experiences that you've had to go through growing up that you shouldn't have had to go through?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, as Dev said in the interview, I've become desensitized to it. So when it happened, just oh my days again. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got stopped off mom to the airport, but I get it in it. There is a lot of knife crime and all these things, but when it's not you that's participating in these things, of course you react differently to these things. You act so why are you picking on me for? It's not me. Well, I get they have to do their job, but there's ways to do your jobs. There's ways to communicate with public. If you're a public enforcer, there's ways to communicate with the public. You don't approach them in certain ways or aggressively or just straight, just assuming. There's ways to talk to people, and I just feel in some cases, people in areas where I'm from, because we're from these areas, it's we don't get treated fairly. We get treated as a suspect straight away, guilty before innocent. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, we know you've got it until they find out that you don't, and then you don't even get an apology listen, sorry for wasting the time, blah, blah, blah. They don't try to do better. I've been like this for years. Like I said, I've been getting stopped and searched since I was 11. I'm 27 now. I still get stopped and searched, no matter where I am. So, I don't know, it's one of those things where I think they need to do better.
What needs to happen? We see, I don't want to sort of go into politics and parliament or whatever, but it's an important message. There are countless times where stop and search is happening on basis of race, stereotype, all sorts. What needs to be happened to change? Because it can't keep going on like this. I
don't think anyone in parliament can relate to what's going on anyway. I don't think they can change anything. I think police need to be in communities and communicate with community members and build a relationship with people in the community so that they know who's who and what's what. If they really want to catch the bad guys, well, you got to build a relationship, and the information will be there for you. But you don't go around bullying, playing cops and robbers, you're chasing people down. Do you know what I'm saying? But they don't want to build relationships in the communities. like, they don't want to do that. They want to keep themselves, you know, distant or apart from them, so that when they have to do the job, there's no emotional whatever detached. And I get that, but I think they do need to build a relationship with, you know, the communities that they work in, learn who people are, you know, the people that are willing to work with them and cooperate with them, get into relationships with them, and, you know, continue to just build that trust between police and public.
Very refreshing to see your story on the boxing media scale. It's obviously been told and sold this week. Do you believe that now, obviously with the platform that you're given through boxing, that this is your time to sort of, you know, you're using the publicity that you get through fighting for the British and things like that to, you know, make a good impact on the future and the youth of today?
Yeah, no, most definitely. I've got a platform. I can share my story, but it's one of the ones where I don't really say that unless I'm asked. Do you know what I'm saying? So the more questions that are asked, the more answers everyone will get. So yeah, man, it's just I'm happy to share my story. I'm happy to help make a change and make a difference, and, you know, give some of my opinions to people that want to hear it. And, you know, if I can get into these spaces and help, you know, police communicate with the community, then happy days, isn't it?
Well, Denzel, thank you very much for your time. Obviously, post-weigh-in, I know you'll imagine want to go and rehydrate and refuel, so I won't keep you any longer. Just a final message to the fans ahead of tomorrow night?
Yeah, man, tune in, man. Don't miss it, man. You're going to see something special.
This September, bad blood will be settled.
This is more than personal.
The long-awaited trilogy.
There's real bad blood here.
Canelo versus Triple G. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.